Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Allen. I'm a Live Well peer educator, and today we're going to be talking about nutrition basics. Nutrients are substances we consume that are essential for growth, maintenance, and repair of body tissues. Now, macronutrients are going to be our proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. While they all provide energy in the form of calories to our bodies, they each perform additional functions as well. Protein contains 4 calories per gram and provides support and structure to our body. They are essential for tissue repair, immune system function, hormone and enzyme production, as well as to maintain muscle mass. Proteins are also essential for growth in children, teenagers, and pregnant women. Now, proteins are harder to break down than carbohydrates in our bodies, which means that these are going to be a longer lasting source of energy. While protein is very important in our bodies, it is important to remember that if too much of it is consumed, it will just be converted into fat. Protein can be found in animal sources such as meat, dairy, eggs, and fish, as well as in plant sources such as nuts, beans, legumes, and even grains and vegetables. How much of each macronutrient a person needs is completely dependent on that specific person. However, the dietary reference intake suggests that 10 to 35% of your daily calories should be protein. Carbohydrates are our body's quickest form of energy. They also contain 4 calories per gram and are an essential energy source for our brain and nervous system because these organs cannot use fat as energy. Fiber is a form of carbohydrate that helps the digestive system function properly, as well as lowers the risk of developing certain diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, colon cancer, and obesity. There are 2 main types of carbohydrates, simple carbs and complex carbs. Simple carbohydrates cannot be broken down into simpler sugars, which means this is going to be our body's fastest source of energy. Some examples of simple carbs are fruit and dairy products. Complex carbohydrates consist of long strings of simple carbohydrates. Complex carbs can also be broken down by the body easily. Some examples of complex carbs are rice, wheat, or pasta, as you see here in the video. Dietary reference intakes for carbohydrates recommends that 45 to 65% of our daily calories come from carbohydrates. Our final macronutrient that we're going to be discussing is fats. Fats take the longest for our body to convert into energy. They are the most concentrated form of energy, containing 9 calories per gram. Fat is needed in our body in order to protect our internal organs as well as to absorb some vitamins, A, D, E, and K. There are 4 main types of fat: saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, and trans fat. Saturated fats are a concentrated source of energy and serve as the building blocks for cell walls as well as a variety of hormones. Excess saturated fat can raise cholesterol levels and lead to illness. Some examples of saturated fat are butter, cheese, and coconut oil. Monounsaturated fat is liquid at room temperature. This type of fat can reduce our blood cholesterol levels. Some examples of monounsaturated fat are olive oil and canola oil. Polyunsaturated fats are also liquid at room temperature. These can help reduce our risk of developing heart disease. Omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acid are going to fall under our polyunsaturated fats. Some examples of these are salmon and walnuts. Trans fat is created by the partial hydrogenation of vegetable oils. This fat is not needed at all in our bodies and should be avoided. An excess of trans fat can increase our risk of developing heart disease. Trans fats are going to be found in margarine, baked goods, and fried foods. Dietary reference intake suggests that 20 to 35% of our calories come from fat. Now let's move on to micronutrients. Micronutrients are dietary components that are needed in much lower amounts in our bodies than macronutrients. These are going to be our vitamins and minerals. Adequate intake of micronutrients is important for maintaining homeostasis, physiological functioning, and for normal growth and development. Micronutrients are not produced by our body and must be obtained through our diet. Some examples of micronutrients are vitamin A, which can be found in carrots, vitamin C, which is found in citrus fruit, vitamin D, which you can get from sunlight, potassium from bananas, iron from beans like chickpeas and hummus, and manganese from whole grains. Luckily for us, a lot of the foods that we eat are already fortified with vitamins and minerals, such as flours and salt. However, a good way to make sure that you're getting all the micronutrients you need are to eat a balanced diet and to make sure to include lots of fruit, vegetables, and whole grains in your diet. Also, keep in mind that not all macronutrients are equal. When choosing proteins, occasionally opt for heart-healthy plant proteins. When consuming carbohydrates like grains, try to make at least half of them whole. And when consuming fats, focus more on unsaturated fats while limiting saturated and trans fats. Doing so will help you stay happy, healthy, and give you the energy you need to have a great day. If you'd like to learn more about nutrition, be sure to check back on October 12th for my next video. Thank you.